Dragon Ball, one of the most famous anime in the world, and by far the biggest anime in Mexico. The number one religion in Mexico is Catholicism, and the second one is Dragon Ball. Yeah, praying to our Lord Goku and always raising our hands if he needs our energy for a Genki Dama. Hey everyone, it's me Ali. I just love Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and almost all Dragon Ball. Any content of Dragon Ball. One of my favorite anime and probably the only anime I have seen this much amount of episodes. I have seen others, but much shorter. As I was trying PlayStation Plus, I realized I could play Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So why not? Some people say that is the best game in telling the story of Dragon Ball Z. So let's check it out.
1 week later.
I don't know what to say. This video game is really good, but it's also really bad. How is this possible? Who made this game? CyberConnect 2?
Who?
Okay, what's going on here? How can a developer be this good and bad at the same time in making a game? I never expected to make this video, but I love Dragon Ball Z and I couldn't hold myself from telling my opinion. Let me show you all the good, the bad, and questionable things that they made in DBZ Kakarot. First of all, the good. The game looks beautiful. There's no question about it. They really did a good job on the graphics. And the characters do look like their anime counterparts. The opening recreation of Chala Head Chala is beautiful. Absolute cinema. The map and the whole environment really feels like we are in the anime. The voice acting is good. It is a shame that we only have English and Japanese, but it's fine. And the amount of content this game has is a lot. You have at least 30 hours of the main game to enjoy. Now the bad and questionable decisions. Wait, really? That's it? Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit. But many questionable parts are also combined with the good and the bad, so let's continue. I wanna rant about many things in this game. For example, the combat is good and bad. Good because of the gorgeous animations, the Makanko Sapo, the Genki Dama, and the Kamehameha. But the combat is also bad when you face some enemies, or almost all enemies, because all of them have the same red move that can paralyze you and leave you vulnerable to a more powerful attack. One thing that I really hate are the random encounters. As you fly through the map, there are going to be a lot of enemies, and you're going to get tired of them really quick. And fighting multiple enemies while you're alone is very, very annoying and frustrating. Especially how these encounters work and how stupid it is. Let me explain. In other RPGs with random encounters, if you don't want to face an enemy, you can either avoid them, or use items to not be noticed, or run away from the encounter. But in DBZ Kakarot, you cannot avoid these enemies. Sure, you can fly fast and they won't be able to catch you, but at some point, you have to stop moving. You either lose all your ki or you need to pick up an item that is surrounded by enemies. So you'll be forced to defeat these enemies. You will think, okay, I got into a battle. I can run away from enemies, right? Ha 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 ha, wrong! You can't run away from any encounter, even in the story. If you want to retry a battle, you have to either die or quit from the whole game. Who was the idiot that forgot the retry and quit option from the battles? That's one of the most frustrating things I ever seen in a video game. Also, why I can't move my flight up and down when I'm in a battle? Yeah, you can kinda move up and down, but to be able to do that is to punch the enemies to go down and then you follow them. Or go up and then you follow them. Sometimes the enemies are either on the clouds or in the water, so it makes it hard to see. It's very annoying. Now let's continue with the story. I was surprised at many moments of DBZ Kakarot. I knew that they will censor all the blood and gore from the story. I can live with that. But what I can't ignore are bad changes to the story. I don't think we needed a Goku versus Imperfect Cell battle. Or to censor completely how the Cell Jr. didn't die, they just got knocked out by Gohan. Nah, he's fine. They're unconscious. And those are only some of the most weird things I remember from the game. There are other strange and bad decisions they made in the story. Like, then the shrinking at the end of the story. This was a mistake from the anime too, and for some reason they didn't fix it here. That being said, there are many encounters in the story that are really bad. They are not difficult, because we can use healing items like senzu beans at any moment, but they are super annoying from all the spamming of hyper armor moves. Dodoria, Android 18, Android 20, and Yakon are the ones that I remember being terrible or very annoying. By the way, hyper armor is when you can't and will never interrupt an enemy from doing something, usually a special move, and don't confuse it with super armor, which is similar, but this one can be interrupted by either attacking a lot or doing a special move. I really hate when some enemies spam moves with hyper armor, especially when dodging in this game is kinda weird and wonky. You can spam it and you'll be fine, and sometimes you need to be really good at dodging certain attacks. Dodge! Now, the last thing I really felt mixed feelings about it, the level up and the upgrading. Getting orbs to upgrade your moves was fine, to say at least. Then getting emblems and then leveling up with gifts was interesting, but also it was too much to ask to level them up. I did miss many things in the game until much later. After hearing all of this, do I hate DBZ Kakarot? No, because I beat the game. Not even beat, I even got all the achievements. A game I hate, I barely play it and drop it completely. But it still annoys me from the wasted potential. We got great scenes of Vegito, Gohan Super Saiyan 2, Vegeta vs Goku, the sacrifice of Vegeta, and many others. Meanwhile, other scenes are only mentioned or barely shown, so it's complicated. Can I give it a 3-star? I guess I give it a 3-star. This game isn't a 5-star game, but I would say it's a 4-star, but it has so many nitpicks and so many annoyances. I'll give it a 3-star rating. It could be a 4-star game if you are a Dragon Ball fan and maybe you don't care for those problems and nitpicks. It has some interesting side quests, but they are not a big deal. Sometimes the side quests are necessary so you can level up and get some emblems. And many enemies are very over leveled in the open world map. The normal enemies in the story are very easy. It's so weird that they locked an interesting battle against an enemy from Dragon Ball Xenoverse, but you had to beat many enemies and it ends up being a huge grind. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention is that, for some reason, your main attack button is circle on PlayStation or B for Xbox. What type of action RPG makes this the main attack button? Yeah, you can change it in the options menu, but it's still a weird anomaly. Was this game made for Nintendo so you can punch with the A button just like Smash Bros? I guess it is the best Dragon Ball Z game to be able to play and enjoy the story, but only because it is the only game that lets you do it. Xenoverse 1 and 2 is more of a fanfic where your OC helps Goku and his friends. DBZ Fighters is an original story, and Sparking Zero has a weird way to present the story of Dragon Ball. It really hurts me to give it this rating as a Dragon Ball Z fan. Heck, we didn't even get the second opening for the Buu arc. Yeah, I love Chala Hechala like everyone else, but I also love We Got the Power. Come on, man. It's not that difficult, and I'm going to prove it to you. Here, check this out.